Hi, everybody. It's Hump Day. I hope that you are not sweltering wherever you are. We in Columbus, Ohio, are in under the heat dome. We have been since Sunday, so it's Wednesday, and I think this continues all week. Not pleasant, but let's talk about more fun things, and that is well, Hump Day things. This day, it's truly about camel again. And last couple of episodes, we went on a little tangent and looked at Estes Park, and then talked about Orenburg lace. But we are back to camel, and so I'm giving you the update on the vest design. So remember, I was fussing with button bands and what was the button band going to look like. And I love these button bands that are done separately and attached, but they end up being double fabric in DK weight and camel, which is very warm. That would mean 4 layers because we have the two sides and then the two button bands, and that's just too much. So I've been working some more, and I decided that I really like the twisted rib. Now this swatch isn't washed yet, and I just ripped it off the needles, so it's got live stitches. But once I kind of settle on what I want, sometimes I do that instead of, maybe I'll come back to it, but I do need to wash it and block it. And I have other swatches to know, the gauge of the stockinette, but just to double check that this is gonna do what I think it's gonna do. But here's where I started. I started then continuing this twisted stitch rib up for the side. And first I started it without a slip stitch, and I did not like how, which always happens, right? Those edge stitches, when you just knit them, they tend to be wonky. Didn't like that. And you can really see right here is where I started to add a slip stitch, and look how much prettier that edge is. So, okay, need a slip stitch. But as I kept going and sort of tried some funky button band or buttonholes, I'm like, this just isn't okay. And then I thought, what if we don't rib it? And and I just do twisted stitches all the way across. So it's not ribbing. And I tried that, and oh my gosh, look at the difference between here, which is kind of a mess, and here, which is lays so beautifully and pretty. I'm like, oh my gosh, I like that so much better. So landed on that. And then I did a couple of for real buttonholes. And this one I decided was too big. It was across 3 stitches. So this one I landed on was across 2 stitches. And in doing the buttonholes, realized I needed one more stitch for the band so that it would land right in the middle. And so I'm excited. So I'm like, yes, I think I have it. I'll wash it and make sure that this portion of the swatch is still does what I want it to do. And actually, we get rid of that buttonhole and it will look like that. And this is going to be so much more fun to do because we won't have to sew on a separate button band, and we'll be able to knit this as we knit along on the vest. And then I'm doing little buttons. So I'm doing 2 buttonholes together and then spaced, and then 2 buttonholes together as part of the design. So very excited about this. That we made progress. I'm just about ready to cast on there. I did some more playing with the DK. I wanted to test some color work. This was kind of a houndstooth, kind of a, they call it herringbone or houndstooth. Now I'm forgetting. Anyway, I moved up a needle size to a 7, and I do not like a 7. Maybe, well, depending on what we want, what kind of garment or what kind of fabric we want, right? But for this color work on a 7, I'm losing the pattern. So if we condense the pattern, it would be a lot prettier. So I know to try this again on a 6, see what happens with that. The other thing, I have a little video to show you because I've been working on the 2-ply yarn and how it's packaged and presented. And I already have, thanks to my friend Scott, an amazing woven pattern that uses all the colors of our 2-ply. It's utterly stunning. Somebody saw it at a show and said, hello, Burberry. I mean, yeah, Scott is so amazing. So I'm hoping to get him on and we talk about this new thing. But I also want to launch something with the two-ply for knitters. And so I've been playing with that as well. Trying a little bit of lace work. This was a very, very simple bit of lace work. I really like this. Can imagine it doing a couple of things. And so again, just live stitches, which is coming apart. So I need to finish this off. But once I sort of established, yes, I like this. Yes, I like the sort of needle size. It was a 4. Uh, yes, I think it was a 4. Now I'm going to have to double check. Was it a 4 or 6? Um, this is beautiful. Now what can we do with this? Um, but I do need to bind these off, right? So they don't come in unravel. But the next thing I was doing then was checking some color work with the 2-ply, and I gotta reach right over here. And sorry about that. So this was the size 4, I believe. Let me look here. I forget because I've been doing a lot of these. Okay, yes. Nope, this is a size 6. So this was the size 6 doing that same little color work pattern. And again, what I didn't like was for what am envisioning, something more refined. It didn't end up refined to me. And again, I think there's just too much air, too much space that it well, and what I did with this color work with the 2-ply was I held 2 strands together. So I actually have a 4-ply, technically. Um, so it's like a little bit heavier fingering, but again, a smaller needle. So, okay, let's go to a smaller needle. And then I began to play and play with this notion of 2 strands together, um, you know, maybe some marling, some color work. And I did this on a size 4. And I'm going to double check it was a 4 and it didn't. I'm sure it's a 4. Yeah, notice how I have to take off my glasses to figure it out. Okay, this is a size. Nope, I did it on a size 3. Okay, I thought I'd pulled out a 4. But hello, I love the size 3 fabric, which is no surprise because have you seen my Wanderer? I think I did that on a 2. Anyway, I have some visions for this and I'm very, very excited. So look for these things to come. Again, this is me doubling this. When I did this particular lace, it was holding it single, and I know I did this on a 6. So this was really, really fun and not so daunting being a single ply, so fine because the needle was larger. But this fabric I thought was, oh, I don't know if you can tell, but it's just delicate and classy, and I like it. So that's just an update on the camel, what's coming with camel. I have just a wee little video. I am going, in order to do these projects that I want to do that use all the colors, I'm going to need to break down our 50-gram and 100-gram cones of this 2-ply so that we have a kit of sorts. And so I have a little video I did of this new electric yarn winder I bought, just in case you're in the market for one. This is one I'm trying. You can see if it's something for you. So that's all I got today, folks, on the updates on Camel on Hump Day. I would love for you to join our community. I have the link in the description of join our community. We have Knitting Together coming this Sunday, so that's something you can check into. It's Zoom. It's a group of well, women for now, but men are welcome, that we meet every other week mostly, unless there's something like an event that gets in the way. And on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And we just have a wonderful time sharing knowledge, knitting, answering questions, talking about other things. And so we'd love for you to join us and join our community. You can sign up and get our weekly newsletter. That's in the description. So, all right, we'll see you next week for Hump Day. Bye, everybody. So I've been working on our 2-ply camel and its packaging and delivery and patterns, and I'm just really thrilled with the weaving pattern we have. So that's coming very soon. What I'm doing now is working on packaging, so our weaving pattern doesn't, in order to use all the colors, which it doesn't need this huge amount of 900 yards of each color. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to break this down for customers so that we can do color work. I know some weavers want the cones, either 50 or this one actually is a 50-gram cone, so it has 450 yards. But our 100-gram cones in the other colors have 900 yards. That's a lot of yardage. So what I've done is I'm experimenting. I've bought put this back on the floor. Okay, I bought a electric yarn winder. I got it off Amazon. The company I don't know how to pronounce, but it's Etcokei. I don't know. Trying it out. I didn't want to spend a huge amount, so this was just under $40. And so far, it's great. Like if you're a home person, I have the cone on the floor, and it was very easy to initially set up. It winds through very easily. Actually, there are slots, so you don't have to, the only hole you have to sort of thread through is that one. And then you slot it here, and I'll just show you how it works quickly. It has multiple speeds, and because with this much yardage in, like, say, if I want 25-gram allotments for color work packages, I cannot do this by hand. And I don't have a commercial machine. And so I got to figure out, the best thing that will work. So far this is so good. I don't know. There's some reviews that, after a year it didn't work. I've stopped it a couple times, so I've kind of moved the placement. This was a cake I made using it, and I've already knit some samples off it. So yeah, I thought the cake came out really beautiful, and so far so good. In case you're curious about an electric yarn winder to make bows, oh my gosh, I don't think I'll ever go back to hand winding. So there's that.